It begins with a feeling so immense it almost crushes you. I'm standing at the foot of Ramses the Great. The stone is cold, silent, yet it screams stories across millennia. Here, in the Grand Egyptian Museum, you are not just an observer. You are a participant in a dialogue with eternity. The scale of it all, it's humbling. You feel like a single grain of sand at the base of a pyramid, insignificant yet part of something monumental. My eyes trace the lines carved by hands that have been dust for 3,000 years. The air is thick with the ghosts of artisans, priests, and pharaohs. My reflection in the polished floor seems a fleeting, modern intrusion. I am dwarfed not just by stone, but by time itself. This place doesn't just hold history, it breathes it. Every shadow, every echo, is a whisper from a world long gone, and as I stand here, I feel my own timeline, my own small existence, stretching and connecting to this colossal past. It's overwhelming, beautiful, and a little bit terrifying. This is more than a museum. It's a time machine, and the journey has only just begun. I push deeper into the labyrinth of glass and gold. The initial awe, that feeling of being wonderfully small, begins to twist into something else. Disorientation. Each gallery is a new world. Here, the treasures of Tutankhamun glitter with an otherworldly light, his golden mask staring with eyes that have seen the afterlife. The craftsmanship is divine, impossibly intricate. How could human hands create such perfection? As I move from one display to the next, the sun begins its descent outside the colossal windows. The light shifts, growing longer, dimmer. Golden artifacts now gleam with a fiery, almost sinister glow in the fading twilight. The museum, once a place of wonder, is transforming. The halls stretch, the ceilings seem to rise, and the silence. The silence becomes heavier, more profound. It's no longer the quiet of a reverent crowd, but the stillness of a tomb. I find myself in a hall lined with sarcophagi. Dozens of them, standing upright like silent sentinels. I lean in, my breath fogging the protective glass. For a split second, I swear my reflection in the glass moved when I didn't. A delayed flicker, a ghost in the machine. I recoil, wiping my eyes. It's just the light, I tell myself. The strange, dying light of an Egyptian sunset playing tricks on a tired mind. But the feeling sticks. That cold knot of unease in my stomach. I am captivated, yes, but also I feel watched. The thousands of years of history staring down at me are no longer just staring. They're seeing me. The atmosphere has changed. It's no longer just a feeling, it's a presence. The air grows cold, and a sound reaches my ears, a sound that doesn't belong here. The soft, dry scrape of linen dragging across stone. It's faint at first, easily dismissed. A trick of the acoustics, perhaps. The ventilation system. My own footsteps echoing strangely. But it persists. A soft, rhythmic shuffle coming from somewhere down the long, shadowed corridor. My heart begins to beat a little faster. I tell myself it's my imagination, fueled by the grandeur and the encroaching darkness. I turn a corner, and that's when I see it. A shadow, a long, distorted silhouette against the far wall that doesn't match any statue or pillar. It's impossibly tall, unnaturally thin, and it moves with a languid grace that is utterly wrong. I freeze, the shuffling sound is closer now. In my mind, the barriers of glass and time dissolve. The carefully preserved remains, the mummified kings and queens, are no longer just exhibits. They are stirring. The thought is absurd, irrational, but it takes root in my mind like a stubborn weed. My leisurely stroll becomes a brisk walk. My breathing grows shallow and quick. I glance over my shoulder. The hallway behind me is empty, but just for a moment, as my head turns, the light seems to flicker. And in that brief flash, I see him. An ancient priest, his head shaved, his eyes dark and hollow, standing at the far end of the hall, watching me. Then he's gone. Was he ever there? The rational part of my brain is screaming no. But the primal part, the part that understands fear, is telling me to run. And so I run. The psychological chase begins. It's not a sprint, not yet. It's a frantic, desperate escape through the heart of ancient Egypt. My footsteps echo on the grand staircase, a chaotic counterpoint to the silent judgment of the statues lining the ascent. Kings and gods, carved from stone, seem to turn their heads as I bolt past, their eternal gaze following my panicked flight. The editing in my mind becomes frantic, a blur of motion and fear. A glimpse of a hieroglyph, the glint of gold, the cold face of a pharaoh. Thud, thud, thud. The sound of heavy, deliberate footsteps behind me. They aren't mine. They are measured, relentless. I duck behind a massive pillar, pressing myself against the cool stone, trying to silence my own ragged breaths. The footsteps slow, then stop. Silence. A silence more terrifying than the pursuit itself. I peek out, nothing. The hall is empty. Just long shadows and the weight of history pressing in on me from all sides. Am I losing my mind? Am I just running from shadows? But then I hear it again. A whisper. An ancient word spoken on a dry breath, seeming to come from right behind me. I don't wait to find out. I'm not just running from a phantom mummy or a hallucination. I'm running from the crushing weight of it all. The knowledge that these artifacts were not made for my eyes. They were sealed for eternity, and I am an intruder in their sacred rest. Every corner I turn, I expect to see something. Every shadow I pass threatens to coalesce into a figure. My lungs burn. The museum has become a maze, and I am the mouse. I don't know how long I've been running, minutes, an hour, an eternity. The labyrinth of halls and galleries blurs into one long, terrifying corridor of stone and shadow. My legs are lead, my lungs are on fire. The thud of the footsteps has been a constant companion, a rhythm of dread driving me forward. But then I see it. A change in the darkness ahead. Not the artificial glow of an exhibit, but the faint, pearlescent light of the moon. An exit. Or at least, a window to the outside world. With the last of my strength, I burst forward, crashing through a set of glass doors and stumbling out onto a vast balcony. The cool night air hits my face like a physical blow. I gasp for it, doubling over, my hands on my knees, sweat dripping from my brow onto the stone floor. Below me, the lights of Cairo twinkle. And there, across the desert plateau, silhouetted against the starry sky, are the pyramids of Giza. Solid. Real. Unchanging. I can breathe again. My heart rate begins to slow. The frantic terror recedes, leaving behind an adrenaline-fueled tremor. Slowly, I turn and look back into the museum. The doors I just burst through are closed. Inside, the halls are dark, silent, and perfectly still. Nothing moves. The statues are just statues. The sarcophagi are just stone boxes. It's quiet. Utterly, completely quiet. Was it real? A vengeful spirit? Or was it a powerful, waking daydream, a hallucination brought on by the sheer, overwhelming power of this place? A stress fracture in my psyche caused by the weight of 3,000 years of history. I don't know the answer. I probably never will. I pull my coat tighter around me, a nervous smile touching my lips. I take one last look at the silent museum, then at the eternal pyramids. I walk away from the Grand Egyptian Museum, but I know a part of me will never truly leave. I have been touched by the shadows of the pharaohs, and I am forever changed. Thanks for watching. If you've ever had an experience that felt just a little too real, let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more journeys into the unknown.